Hello world. Today we'll be setting up a quick DialogFlow chatbot and then connecting it to it using Python. Now I've experimented with chatbots before. Once we set it up just using the NLTK, the Natural Language Toolkit library, and ran it straight to from Python, which you can watch here. And then we connected our Python program to Facebook and created a Facebook chatbot, which you can watch here. And then most recently, we created a website in Flask and then connected that to our NLTK library, which you can watch here. But in this video, we're going to be using DialogFlow, Google's DialogFlow, to control the conversation instead of our NLTK library. But first, welcome to the 142nd video on my channel where I'm building my own digital assistant named Shane, like Jarvis from the Iron Man movies and comics. So DialogFlow is Google's chatbot platform, which allows you to do a kind of a non-coding chatbot and create your own chatbot. And a lot of companies use it. It's one of the most popular software out there. The next will be Watson, and then Google also has an AI, which is more for conversational based models. But DialogFlow, like the name suggests, controls the dialogue. So if you're trying to get your customer to a specific product or service or answer a question, then DialogFlow is perfect. And so we're just going to be creating kind of the minimum essential just to connect it to our Python. And so you can go here to dialogflow.cloud.google.com and create your own account, and then you can create your own chatbot. So what you can do is you'll have this, or I'm in my dashboard right now, but what you'll want to do is create a new agent. Let's call this YouTube, and then you're going to create it. Okay, so it saves here. Now it's working, and it's going really slow because I'm recording a YouTube channel. But what's going to happen is you don't have to run your Python program or do anything. You can run it and train it directly from here, your right here. And so in this YouTube, so first we're going to back out of this and go to intents. So this is, DialogFlow is no different than any library that you'll see in JavaScript, C++, whatever, Python. It uses intents. They call it entities, but basically context and variables to try to hold a real conversation. And this is the same basic structure that all chatbots use. It uses intents, which tries to get the intent of the user, connects that to context. So what did they just say? What are they talking about? Because a lot of conversation requires context, right? And then it has variables, which in this case, DialogFlow calls entities. And so you're given these default fallback intents, which is basically all the random stuff that you don't usually think about. And then you have this default welcome intent. So what I like to do is you go into default right here, and basically it has all this expressions, right? So context, events, training phases, and then so if they say hey, hello, hi, howdy, hey there, hey, hello, any one of these, then it's going to give some default things. So what you can do is delete these, right? So now you have no default responses. Okay, so let me show you what I did in my test bot. So same thing, I went into welcome, left all of these in here just like I showed you, but I changed mine to say, hi, what is your name, right? And then I'll explain what this is, but go ahead and enable webhook call for this intent. So that's all I did, hi, what is your name? So if they say any of this, any of these, it will say, hi, what is your name? So go ahead and save, go back to intents, and then I created something called get name. So how do you do that? You press this little plus and you type in something. So get email or whatever you want. So I don't want to, I've already created that. So then you press save. But what I did was I went in here and typed get name. And then this is default right here. So in the input context, what you want to do is type in awaiting underscore name. Add that to your output context. And then this will show up in a second. I'll show you how to do that. But yeah, so that's all you do here. And then for training phases, type in my name is, and then you type anything. You could put my name is giraffe. Once you do, you double click it. Okay? And then you'll be brought down to here. So double click this, and what I did was I typed in, and I just changed it to color, but it has all these default things, right? And so you need to find what you want. So mine is going to be sys.any, right? Because I don't want to presume anything, presume anything and know that people can type in crazy names. So what you're going to do is you're going to name that to name. And then, so you're going to have these training phases here. So let's press save before we go too far. Then these actions and perimeters will come up. So you have name, the underscore name, or I'm sorry, the $ name. And then this is what you use as a variable, just like you would in Python. So hi name, do you want to know more about our services? So before we go too far, so I press done. So let's try this out. So let's go hi, or let's go hello. All right, so my bot says, hello, what is your name? And the context is it's awaiting my name, right? And we set that up here, right? This training phase and this context. So it's awaiting my name. So if I type in, my name is, now you see how I typed in Brandon here? Let's do something else. Let's go Jeff. No, let's do something crazy. Yeah, let's just go Jeff. It says, hi Jeff. Do you want to know more about our services? So I've created a follow-up, and I'll show you how to do that. But what it's using is it's the awaiting name. So right now it's waiting for us to answer, do you want to know more about our services? So once you do that, you press save. Go under this get name right here and type in add follow-up intent. I'm sorry, just click this right here. Boom. And then you'll want to do a custom. So click custom. And now you're in this get name custom. Now I've already set up two, but this is where you type in your yes or no questions. So if you answered a yes or no question, hi, do you want to know more about our services? What I recommend is labeling your intents exactly what they are. So services, yes, or services, no. Right? And it automatically pulls in these contexts for you. So I'm going to back out of this. I don't want to save it. So what I did was right now in this, let me delete this. So we're in the welcome. I asked, hi, what is your name? Then we went up to this get name. I said, my name is Jeff. And in this get name, it says, hi, name. Do you want to know more about our services? So, hi, Jeff. Do you want to know more about our services? Then I set up two follow-up intents, one for yes and one for no. And I guess I could do better standardized naming convention for all my OCD people. So if they say, okay, sure, or yes, then what I want to do is say, great, we have services. That's not what you'd really say. You'd say, great, here are some services. And for every intent in this fulfillment, I'm going to want to enable webhook call for this intent. Okay? So what if they say no? Well, you create a follow-up intent. The context follow, right? I didn't type that in. If I say, nah, I'm good, no thanks, or no, then it'll say, okay, but you should really know about our services. and then you need to determine what you want to type in there. And again, enable webhook for this intent. So done. So let me just make sure I've made a webhook for all of these. Yep. Okay, great. So just to wrap this up, so welcome, get name, yes and no. And then I also created this no test. So I'm going to show you why this is important, because what if they say no in general, right? It had nothing to do with the answering services. Well, let's try that. So, hi Jeff, do you want to know more about our services? Let's type in no. Okay, but you should really know about our services. Let me move that. And so what it's using is the awaiting name, right? And then the get name follow-up. That's where we're in right now. That's what these little down arrows mean. We're following up. So it recognized no as being a part of do you want to know about our services. So you can reset the context. Context will be cleared with the next query. And let's try doing the same thing. No. Test for a no response, right? So that's different this time. So right here, I just created something called no test, and this is for you. If they say no thanks, no, then it'll say test for a no response, right? There's no context why I said no, right? There's no context because it's not part of the conversation that we had. So that's the purpose of DialogFlow, is to, you have to kind of guess how the flow or control the flow of the conversation. So let's try this again. Hi. Hi, what is your name? Right? It's awaiting my name. The intent is the welcome. Say, my name is Giraffe. Hi, Giraffe. Do you want to know more about our services? So depending on what I type in, right, it's going to go to the appropriate follow-up and put no. Or let's type in yes. We did. Great. We have services. And that's where you would explain your services. Now, you can reset your texts. And let's see what happens if somebody just says yes randomly. See, it says one more time. And what that's doing is it's going to this default fallback intent. So basically, DialogFlow tries to help you and provides you a bunch of this default fallback intent, which is kind of cool. So these are negative examples, the agents. So basically anything that it doesn't recognize, it'll fall back to one of these at random. So that is our basic, very basic DialogFlow chatbot. So you notice how I clicked the fallback, or I'm sorry, the webhook on all of those. So if you go to fulfillment, you're going to see this will be blank for you. You're going to see this webhook. Your web service will receive a post request. So you're going to have to enable it. The default is disabled. So go ahead and click enabled. And it's asking you for a URL, but let's stand by on that for a second. So what it's going to pass you is this diagnostic info. And basically it's giving you raw API. So basically it's a dictionary or a JSON of information. And that's what we want to capture. Now, I don't have a website or anything. So what we can use is NGROK. And what that is it simulates a website and it gives you a URL. So this is expecting a URL. So I'll post a link in the description, but you can go to NGROK and download it. And you have to extract it, right? Just don't run it from its zipped folder. And wherever it's saved is where you need to go. So you have to go to the actual folder. So what I don't recommend is going to NGROK once you download it and going to open. What you need to do is go to open file location. Okay, we're in the file, right, where NGROK actually is. And then just type in CMD. And it'll open a command prompt for you. And so I covered this in a previous video where we set up a Facebook chatbot. So I'm not going to go over into everything about chatbot. But first you're going to say ngrok.exe, type in http, HTTP, and then type in 5000. So what is this? This is your local host, right? This is your machine. So it's going to simulate a website from your local machine. So press enter, and it's going to open up this thing right here, session status online. And you see this HTTPS. Now make sure you use the S version because that's what DialogFlow is. So just go ahead and copy just this. Go back into your DialogFlow, type in that URL, and save. Boom. So now you have this connected to your DialogFlow. So now you go to Python. Now I'm not going to go into this because I've created this very simple Flask in many of my videos. Please click on any of the links I went through in the beginning of this video. So from Flask, we're going to import Flask and request. Then you're going to establish an app equals Flask underscore name underscore. What we want is to capture this post, right? Every time we type something into DialogFlow, we're going to get this post. So if you get a request.method of a get, then it's just going to say, hello, YouTube. We're not connected to DialogFlow. But if we do capture the post, what we're going to do is we're going to assign a variable called payload. The payload equals request.json, right? That's why we imported request. Then I want the user response and the bot response, and we'll cover that in a second. We're not going to return anything, but if we were passing these posts to different functions, that's where we would return something. And then let's say we don't capture a post, we just get like a 200 data, then I would just, that means we're connected to DialogFlow, but we're not receiving anything. But if we get a post, we're going to do this, and I'll cover that in a second. So let's run this. So we have NGROK running. We typed it in our DialogFlow, and then we're going to run this program. So what it's doing is it's running on this 5000, which is the local machine website that we have running in NGROK. Nothing is down here, right? This is all the Flask letting you know stuff. As you can see, serving Fast App DialogFlow. That's just the name of here. It's not actually connected. So now let's run this again. So let's try it again. So let's type in hi. Okay, it says, hi, what is your name? Now, let's take a quick look at this diagnostic info real quick. So the query text, hi, and then this fulfillment text says, hi, what is your name? So the user said hi, the bot said, hi, what is your name? That's the fulfillment text. So let's check our Python code, and that's exactly what we have here, right? It captured the post, 200 means successfully, and what we did is it says user said hi, right? And then the bot said, hi, what is your name? So how did we do that? Well, first, we captured that JSON I just showed you in this payload. Then we assigned a variable called user response equals payload, which is this, which is the JSON, query result, query text. The bot response is the same thing, but within query result, we want the fulfillment text. And notice the syntax here, right? Payload, then the first thing we pass it in the square brackets is query result. And then within query result, we want the query text and the fulfillment text. So let's go back to this diagnostic info. So we're in the JSON now, right? And within the query result, I want the query text, which was hi, and the fulfillment text, which is hi, what is your name? Then all I'm doing is, as long as the user response or the bot response is not nothing, right? Then I want to print the user said plus the variable, which is a user response. Then I want to print the bot said, there's a blank here, plus the bot response, which is this variable, and then just post it here. And you know what we could do with this is that we could save this to a text file so you have a written conversation history. Okay, so let's type in my name is Chris. So my name is Chris. That's what the user said. Hi, Chris. Do you want to know more about our services? So we go into Python, and it says, my name is Chris. Hi, Chris. Do you want to know more about our services? Yeah, of course we do. So we type in yes. Great. We have services. So I typed in yes. Great. We have services. So there you go. So it's all connected. So if you've seen my previous videos, you know that I'm not really exploring the chatbot for Shane yet, right? I don't use Shane on a daily basis. However, I've automated tasks at home with some of my Python files for Shane. But once Shane is up and running, I imagine I'll want some sort of relationship where a chatbot would help. So DialogFlow, what it is not though, is AI, right? Where it is having a real conversation based off of, machine learning, supervised learning, what have you. DialogFlow is explicitly coded, if you will, based off of intents and context, right? And that's what most companies need. They don't want to have a conversation with you, right? They just want to get your information and pass it off to somebody. So picture AT&T. Now I have AT&T, and in between the loading, it has fake typing. AT&T, if you're watching this, get rid of that. That's horrible. Why do you have that? Nobody wants to hear loud typing. Anyways, sorry. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my channel to continue watching me play with chatbots or build my own digital assistant named Shane, like Jarvis from the Iron Man movies. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave a comment. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, world.